Hello, everyone. How are we doing? How are we doing on this Thursday? I'm going to wait for everybody to join. I've got TikTok up and rolling, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. I've got TikTok on a different position. So you guys are getting kind of like an upwards view, while my friends over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube are going to get more of a table view. So we're going to see how this ends up working out. So today we are talking about poisonous crystals, and why they're poisonous. So those who may not know, some crystals contain minerals in them that are poisonous. Now, most of the time, they are usually when ingested, or when large amounts enter the bloodstream, like through pores. But we will talk a little bit more about that while we chat it up. So on the table, I have, funny enough, tiger's eye, which you probably didn't think was poisonous, cinnabar or cinnabrite, bumblebee jasper, orpiment, malachite, and emerald. Each one of these crystals, and there are more, each one of these crystals contain a poisonous element to them. So we'll talk about them. I'm going to wait for my YouTube, Facebook, Twitch people to join in. They have yet to join in. My people on TikTok, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Once again, we are talking about poisonous crystals. I'm going to move you guys a little bit so you can see a little bit more of the view here. Now, everything on the table is available for purchase. We don't have, on our TikTok shop, we do not have a lot of crystals on there. It gets very weird on TikTok as far as them being open to, gemstones. You have to show, the quality, et cetera, because they think that everything is precious. These are semi-precious gemstones, not precious gemstones like your diamonds and your rubies and all that. So, all right. So, I see some people popping up over on my Facebook and over on my Twitch and YouTube area. Just to let you guys know, once again, and then we'll get started. We are talking about poisonous crystals, crystals that have minerals in them that would be considered poisonous. We'll talk about why they are safe for you to have, things that you can do to them to make them not safe. This is my preference as to saying, I am not telling you to do these things or that these things are okay. I am telling you in an educational standpoint about these ways that you can handle these crystals. The only one I do not have on the table that would be also considered poisonous is sulfur or sulfur quartz. We have sulfur and sulfur quartz, but I just didn't feel like bringing those ones over because thank you for the follow, because I wanted to talk a little bit more about the maybe lesser common ones. So we'll start with, we'll start from left to right. So we'll talk about emerald back here. So again, all of these crystals are available. After I talk about the crystal, I will give you a price. If you are interested and would like to take that crystal home, I can intuitively pick one for you when it comes to the bowls, like the bumblebee jasper and the cinnabar and the emerald. And we can get you one, wow, I cannot speak today, sent home with you. Now, with that being said, because this isn't on our TikTok shop, will you be talking about sulfur quartz? I don't have any with me. Like, I do have some in the store. If you really want me to talk about sulfur quartz, I definitely can. I love sulfur quartz. I just didn't bring any out because I thought people knew about it, and it was more common. But I can definitely bring you some sulfur quartz, and we could talk about the metaphysical properties of sulfur quartz. I personally love it. It's a really, really cool mineral. So I can bring some over for sure. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the crystals. We're going to talk about the poisonous aspects of them and how to handle them. Majority of these crystals, the ones that I feel you need to wash your hands after you handle them, yes, I will definitely bring them over, Catherine, is bumblebee jasper and orpiment. Is same thing with raw malachite. I do not condone wearing malachite as a piece that can touch your skin. So if you're getting a piece of jewelry and it doesn't have an open back and it has like a flat piece of metal on the back where it won't touch your skin, I would say that is okay. If it touches you, it gets wet over time, that coating and that polish can start to wear away. And malachite has properties in it that are poisonous. So over time, it can get into your skin. I was told this by a friend of mine who is in the crystal community and has been in it for a very, very long time, that he does not sell malachite jewelry or bumblebee jasper jewelry because of this reason. He just doesn't feel like it's right. So I have always heeded his advice because he gets down to it to a cellular level. So I will bring some some sulfur quartz out, but we'll talk a little bit about emerald here and why it is poisonous. And the thing is, you don't want to use emeralds in crystal baths or in elixirs. By elixirs, I mean putting crystals in water and drinking the water. You do not want to do that with this crystal. Make sure you pay attention. If you are doing crystal elixirs, this is my advice. Do not let the crystal touch the water. Have the crystals in a separate container. There are crystal bottles that have the crystals like chips in a separate container underneath the bottle where it can still be charged. Your water can still be charged with the crystals, but not be in the water. That's my personal opinion. You have to think at the end of the day, crystals are minerals, and some minerals are not healthy for you to ingest. Yes, dangerous shiny rocks today. So the reason why emerald is on the list of poisonous crystals is because it actually contains trace amounts of aluminum, or aluminium, as people say it. So that is what is toxic about emeralds. Aluminum is poisonous. We'll go into the metaphysics of emerald a little bit. So do not get your emeralds wet. That is my advice. And I'm using my fancy app for this. So we talked about emerald being one of the precious gemstones next to diamonds and rubies and sapphires. Metaphysically, emerald promotes harmony, truthfulness, and trust, promotes focus, loyalty, and sensitivity, eliminates negativity. By the way, this is our emerald. This is what we're talking about here. Improves memory and patience, and encourages honesty. So that is emerald. Now, keep in mind, these are like crystal or like semi-precious emeralds. These aren't cut to be the fancy emeralds that you see in like diamond set jewelry, right? Here we go, TikTok. Sorry. ASMR. Here is me rolling crystals around. They are very pretty. I know you love your greens. So yeah, emeralds contain trace amounts of aluminum, which is why they would be considered poisonous. Another name for emeralds is green beryl. And just keep in mind, you don't want to get your emeralds wet. If you would like a piece of emerald, I will intuitively pick it for you. And they are $12 a tumble. And these are nice chunky tumbles. These aren't small guys. These guys could fit nicely in a pocket. Continuing on with greens, since we're going to be on a green kick, let's talk about one that you probably right off the rip would know is poisonous, and that is malachite. I have two different forms here. One that is a tumbled form. Usually with tumbles, they are glossed. There is usually a protective coating over them, and they no longer have that rough outer coat. So malachite is a copper mineral. Copper is poisonous to ingest to get into your pores. So just in case you guys did not know, there's a lot of cool stuff on malachite, and we'll talk about that in a second. We're just going to talk about the poisonous aspect of it. Now, you're not going to be poisoned via your skin or your blood or by the fumes. You don't want to get it wet. So just be careful, and you won't see malachite. When people try to cut malachite themselves, I do not recommend that. You do not want to inhale it. Polished malachite is probably your safest malachite, which is, I do have bits of that on the table. Polished and tumbled, usually tumbled stones are polished, which is why they are shiny. And that polish puts a protective barrier around the crystal. Polished malachite is safe, and it is only toxic if you ingest or inhale the dust, the particles. Okay. The dust can cause damage to the endocrine and central nervous system if it's ingested, inhaled, or absorbed, and it's because of the copper carbonate that is in it. So be very, very careful when it comes to malachite. I have a malachite bracelet. It's polished, but over time that polish does wear off. So you definitely do have to be wary of that. So this right here, I like this piece a lot. This is that polished malachite, right? Real big chunky guy, shiny. I can hold it back here so everybody can see. She's solid. So if you guys are interested in this one, real quickly, these are Tucson Gem Show pieces. So we are looking at $24 for this piece. To claim, you would just say claim malachite 24. Know that when you claim, it is a commitment to pay, and we will contact you as far as invoicing and everything goes, but that is a commitment to pay. $24. There's also this one here. This one's a little bit more denser. And there's that really pretty piece. This one is $27, a little bit thicker. This is what people are more worried about when we talk about malachite. These are raw pieces of malachite. Still insanely beautiful. Very, very, very pretty. Wanted to thank you for liking the live. Sorry, TikTok. There we go. Just coming a little bit closer for you guys. This is raw malachite. This cluster right here is 40. Like, look at the little fans. Really pretty. And then let me see if I can get you guys to see the fans here too. Yeah. Really pretty piece. That is malachite. We have several different pieces. I really like this one too. This is another raw piece. It's very again, you do not want to get malachite wet. You do not want to break it and inhale the dust. And you do not want to ingest said malachite. But there is this lovely piece here. This one is really, really pretty. I'm a huge fan of this one. If you are interested, this one is $40. Yeah, they are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we have the raw pieces, and we do have the tumbled pieces. And since that is why malachite is poisonous. If you want to see any of the pieces, I'm not going to go through every single one. Look at that. Right. It's very pretty. I'm really obsessed with this one. Like, the fans are so cool. Okay, we're going to talk about one of my favorites. She commonly gets mistaken for crazy lace agate in a polished form. And that's actually what we have her labeled as, but it is orpiment. Orpiment is similar to bumblebee jasper. Let me talk about it for a second. We have raw pieces of orpiment. They are in little baggies because they are also very similar to malachite where it crumbles. It's very fragile. So orpiment is very, very vibrant. It can range from yellows to oranges to greens. What? No sniffing the poison rocks. No sniffing the poison rocks, Trevor. So orpiment is a arsenic sulfide mineral. And I always laugh that like the poisonous stones are always like the prettiest. So this right here, and the only reason why I know this is orpiment is because I have a skull at home that is made out of orpiment. And it looks exactly like this. So it's got like yellow, which is going to be the sulfur in it. And then we've got greens. So really, really, really pretty stone. We have it in towers. And then we will talk a little bit about the fun stuff about it. So yeah, it is arsenic and sulfur. And it is toxic, of course, as all sulfur and arsenic is, if it's inhaled or ingested. So keep that in mind. We do have raw orpiment here. This is why they're in plastic bags, because you can see there is dust at the bottom. These are, I like to say the poisonous stones are like, these are collector's pieces. If you like crystals, if you like the weird and the unusual, these guys are the way to go. So keep in mind, I cannot speak. Orpiment is rarer to find. People usually don't sell it because it is poisonous. And just, some people they don't want to cut it. They don't want to risk it. Just for the few people that want to collect a special specimen, right? Because these would be specimens. So we've got a really big chunk here, and this guy is 80. This is what raw orpiment looks like. Like, that is all orpiment dust at the bottom. Like, very, very vibrant orange. I love it. It's really cool. It's a really, really cool stone. If you still you want one on more of a budget, I've got smaller pieces for $70. There are grades to this. So like, this is an A grade specimen. Let's see if I can get this color to turn. Yeah. So again, these are great if you are a rock collector. You're not going to be sticking these guys in your pockets, but really, really cool. We'll talk about the metaphysical properties of orpiment, because just because they are poisonous, yes, so they are going to say crazy lace, and that is because the person who was in Tucson said that that's what they were. When I brought them back, hello, Ashley. When she brought them back, I was like, this is orpiment. And like I said, I only know that because I have a skull at home that is exactly like this. Crazy lace does not look like this. So I'm going to say it's orpiment. Now, this is safe. This is polished. It is tumbled and polished, so it's got that coating on it. It's no issue, no problem. this is the stuff that you'd be a little bit more worried about. So we've got small ones. This one is 24. These are non-specimens, which is why they are a little bit cheaper. 35, I don't know numbers. 24, and another 35. So the taller ones are going to be 35. Smaller ones are going to be 24. There are crystals you can, I would say I would not handle raw orpiment. Like those little baggies, I would not handle raw orpiment. There's too much dust. Like I said, they're brittle, they crumble. They're meant to be like in a display box to say, I have a piece of orpiment. Because it is an expensive stone. My skull that I got, which is insane that they carved orpiment, was very, very pricey. So this would be something you'd put on like a box or a display, or just, to say you have as bragging rights. But yes, that is what I'm going to say the towers are. I've never seen crazy lace like that, but I have a skull that looks exactly like that. But those are going to be your safer ones. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to look up. The metaphysicals of orpiment, because like I said, they are also, let's see if I can find it. We'll even see, because sometimes this app will not have how much are the towers. So the taller ones are 35. The smaller ones are 24. There's too small, too large, and these are all that I have. So if you wanted to see like a certain one, I can pull them both over if you wanted to claim one and choose one, or I can intuitively pick for you. I have no problem doing that. I am super passionate about my poisonous crystals. You're very welcome. Bumblebee Jasper is cute, but she's also very poisonous. That yellow is not for, just like how it is in orpiment. That is straight up sulfur. So, orb. Sometimes this app doesn't have like the more rarer type of stones. And I'm going to say she does not have orpiment. So we're going to go to a different app. Well, those are no crystals for me, as I have a habit of you put them in your mouth. Why are you putting crystals in your mouth, girl? Hello, Mike. So, orpiment, metaphysicals. Also, this goes to say, do not get orpiment wet. I don't know if I said that. So, orpiment opens and aligns the solar plexus. Neurospicy thing. Get out. Orpiment stimulates the intellect and is an excellent crystal to use when engaged in investigative analysis or examinations. Dang. Orpiment stimulates growth and provides insights into that which needs to be done. So she is a get it done focus stone. So to my scientists out there, she is very much a helpful stone when it comes to getting down to the nitty gritty. So Bumblebee. Where? Bumblebee has sulfur in it. That is that yellow, the yellow stuff in it. Sorry guys, I'm trying to look up a little bit more. Okay, so also Bumblebee Jasper is high in sulfur and arsenic. Another one of those things I would not recommend in jewelry. Minerals with toxic elements are safe to handle, especially once polished, but the danger comes from inhaling dust or microscopic fibers. So it contains arsenic. And it says there is no information on whether it is safe. It's just the results show that the levels of arsenic in Bumblebee Jasper is very, very high. So that's cool. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. Polished stones have less of a risk because they are polished, they are tumbled, they are protected with a barrier. But again, over time, if you're wearing it, if you're getting it wet, if you're sweating, over time that polish does kind of wear. So you want to be careful. So Bumblebee is also a arsenic and sulfur stone. Interesting. I have Bumblebee in different forms over here. And such a cute name for such a poisonous. They couldn't call it Yellow Jacket. No, they were like Bumblebee, the cute fluffy one with the big butt. That's what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to call it. So Bumblebee Jasper is actually not a true jasper at all. And it doesn't contain quartz. It's actually a form of fibrous calcite. Interesting. Okay. It comes from only one location in the world, and that is Mount Papandai. I am going to butcher this. I'm not even going to say it. Anyway, it's in Indonesia. Okay. So Bumblebee Jasper contains realgar, which is an arsenic-containing mineral that gives it its distinctive yellow-orange color. However, there is no dangers when handling or wearing, but care should be taken. Again, this is when I come down to the wearing down of the polish, getting it wet with sweat. If you're a sweater, I'm a sweater, so I would not recommend it for me. There's a whole bunch of stuff they want you to wear. They want you to wear PPE when cutting and polishing Bumblebee Jasper. Wash your hands after handling raw specimens of Bumblebee Jasper. It's a soft mineral, so it will scratch easily, which is the one thing that you don't want to happen to the stone, because then we release the dust particles. So metaphysical parts of jasper is it boosts confidence and inner power, protects you from negative energy. It helps bring clarity, increases motivation and willpower, and helps to clear blocked energy. So that's Bumblebee, and I'll show you guys the ones that we have. So we've got it in tumbles. If you would like a tumble, they are $4 each, and there are a bunch of different, really pretty colors in here. There's that really pretty orange. I'm looking at this guy right here. Really pretty orange colors. I don't have Bumblebee Jasper, but I should get some. So if you've noticed, a lot of these stones tend to help with focus and drive. So poisonous stones help if you need that energy boost, that boost of clarity, that boost of focus. This guy's really cute, and he's been here for a really long time, and if no one gets him, I'm going to be sad. This is a small little Bumblebee Jasper. He is a sphere. You could put him in like a little crystal cage. Universe is calling me out today. Stay focused, Ashley. That's what the universe is saying. So there is my Bumblebee guy. He's a little tiny little sphere, and he's adorable. And he is never with our Bumblebee Jasper. He's always off by himself. And I think it's hilarious. But I'm just like, you'll find a home one day, I swear. He is 22. I'm supposed to be writing, but here I am on TikTok. Stop watching us and go and write. Don't you have like curfews or due dates? I don't know. So that's my littlest sphere. He's 22. This is my big sphere, or medium sphere, and he is 30. I've been a big sphere fan. I think it's because I would just want to roll things in my hands. That's autism. But October 27th, you don't have time. You don't have time. So this guy sits about right here. So he's really pretty. I like him. Sphere fan. And then I saw we had a tower. He's like all the way in like the back of our display cases where the Bumblebee Jasper is. And he's really cool. He's got a cut in him. And he's not like the most vibrant gray, but he's still really pretty. And he is self-standing. And I like a skinny tower. Like, he's cute. If you would like him, he is 45. He also looks like, I'm not saying you could do some damage with him, but you could do some damage with him. And then this is a Bumblebee Freeform. This guy is 30. He is self-standing as well. He's a little blob. Sometimes we call our Freeforms blobs because they look like blobs. He's got a lot of pretty color. I got stuck. I needed a break. Spicy Rodeo Yule Romances. Say that 3 times fast. Rodeo Yule. Oh, man. That one's interesting. I don't like that. But yes, there's this guy. He is also 30. A little self-standing freeform. Can have him by your desk. So we'll go into Cinnabar, which is going to be this little section here. I actually talked about him. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear about that. Aw. You know what's, I was actually just talking to my boss about this, because we were talking about people, and it's so heartwarming to see that people of other cultures are asking those of Mexican culture if they can make an ofrenda because of their they miss their animals or they miss their family members. And they were like, well, is it, appropriate for me to make this if this isn't my culture? And it's really cute because they're like, absolutely, we can help you pick things out. Like, I guess there was a comment on a TikTok video where someone was like, I asked my Mexican friend if it would be appropriate, and they took me out shopping to help get me things to build an ofrenda for my dog. I'm like, oh my God, it makes my heart so happy. So I love that. I'm sorry to hear about that. Animals are hard. We love them, but they don't stay here long enough. Oh, I love that. Yes, do it. So we'll talk Cinnabar. I actually talked about Cinnabar last week, but I said I would bring it up again when everyone was like, oh, I want to talk about poisonous stones. Crystal. Okay, here we go. So Cinnabar this is technically called, it's got many different names. Cinnabar mixed with quartz is called cinnabrite. Sometimes it'll just be called Cinnabar. So Cinnabar by itself is really pretty, but so is a lot of pretty crystals. So let me see. I think Cinnabar, I talked about it briefly. I want to say Cinnabar is mercury. Let me check. Cinnabar. Yes, it's mercury. It's a mercury ore. That's what is it. I hear Cinnabar and I'm like, Pokemon? So the white part is quartz. The red part is the poisonous part, Cinnabar. So it was mined as a mercury ore for thousands of years since the Romans. And Cinnabar is an ore of mercury, so it should be handled with care, and you should always wash your hands after using it just to be safe. That's what I'm going to say about all these crystals. Although it is a form, Cinnabar possesses little threat. Even if it enters the body, it will usually pass through without having any sort of effect because of its low bioavailability. There we go. Big words. So they just say if you're going to handle any raw specimens, definitely wash your hands. It's a soft mineral, so it will scratch easily. So again, this is another one of those, please don't inhale the dust. I don't know if we have any people out there in like lapidary or anything. I would hope that you would do your research, but you do not want to cut any of these stones into jewelry. Leave that to the professionals that have the proper gear. So cinnabar attracts wealth and abundance. It is excellent for manifestation, stimulates your psychic gifts, awakens your spiritual potential, and releases fear and resentment. So we've got a lot of cool stuff with cinnabar here. And I only have cinnabar in tumble form. I was talking about it last week, and I don't know if Sam is still in here, but I said it feels like those malt eggs around Easter time. It sounds like it and feels like it. The Easter eggs that you get from, like, you can't tell me it doesn't sound like that. It's like that hard candy coating. But yeah, the Easter eggs that have the malt chocolate in it, that's what I think about when I see these guys and feel these guys. That's the texture, if anybody wanted to know. Think malt balls, but specifically the Easter egg ones that have the hard candy coating. So we've got arsenic, and we've got copper, and we've got, what was the other thing? Arsenic, but sulfur, right? Last thing, and then before I go and grab some sulfur quartz and talk about that, is tiger's eye, funny enough. And this is me, I literally just learned about this. So tiger's eye, that shiny part in it, and the reason why it is shiny is actually from asbestos. So again, it is the reason why this is protected is because there is quartz within tiger's eye. So the quartz protects the shell basically of the crystal from the asbestos. And then the cool part is blue tiger's eye is asbestos that hasn't been oxidized yet. So that's why you get that really shiny labidorescence, or whatever they call it. I don't think it's labidorescence for tiger's eye. I think it's called something else, is asbestos. So that's new. I didn't know that till today. When I was like, anyone know any more? Because I know my really yellow stones and my really green ones. But yeah, tiger's eye has asbestos in it. I wouldn't be necessarily afraid about it because of that quartz coating. And on top of it, most of the time you don't really see, we do have raw tiger's eye, but again, there's the quartz in it, so it protects it. But on top of that, like, people really aren't doing anything, crazy with it. Just don't stick rocks in your mouth. We just had this talk. Just don't stick things in your mouth. So that is tiger's eye. I have it in many different forms, but these are the ones I grabbed. I've got these little donut shapes. You can slip a cord through here, make a necklace out of it. So I got these ones here, little donut shapes. I want to say these guys are 10. And then I've got worry stones. What's cool about some of these worry stones is there is a mix of blue tiger's eye, and there's also a mix of just a normal color tiger's eye in some of these. My worry stones are 15. These are large, so they can sit in the palm of your hand. And then I just grabbed some blue tiger's eye tumbles just to show you guys. So like this would be the asbestos that is not oxidized yet. So tiger's eye. And then that right there, that big skull, he still needs a home, and I hate seeing him not have one. He is 165, but he is tiger iron. So he has tiger's eye in it with hematite. So you'll see he has shiny gray, silver stripes, and that is hematite. He is very heavy because of the hematite. So here's this guy. I love him. He's got a long face. He's cute. All right, let me grab, well, you know what? If you want to buy a piece of sulfur quartz, let me know, but I can at least tell you about sulfur quartz. So sulfur quartz, I really, really love. It has really cool metaphysical properties. Sulfur itself is, of course, poisonous. It is a mineral, so it is considered a crystal or a rock, right? They're in raw. I have raw sulfur at home. It is very, very, very bright neon yellow. The sulfur I have is in like a little vial to stay protected. And just keep in mind, it is more of a display because it is soft and because it shouldn't come into contact with water. So even when I say water, we're even talking sweat. Your own sweat, your own grease will wear things down. You can't tell me you ain't greasy. So sulfur itself is great for the solar plexus. It eases stubbornness, increases patience, helps to detoxify and remove negativity, and also cleanses the aura. A lot of the poisonous stones help with cleansing and removing blockages. So we talk about poisoning the blockages, poisoning the bad things in our life, and keeping you protected within. Sulfur quartz is quartz and sulfur combined. So again, it is safer to handle than just normal raw sulfur. So I have many pieces of sulfur quartz. It's another one of those things I wouldn't get wet super often. But sulfur quartz is a rare variety of quartz. So it's not very common. It's got a pale yellow color, and they come in different grades. So there's really, really high sulfur count that will be a little bit more clear and yellow. It's a very soft pastel shade a majority of the time. Sulfur quartz helps to reignite drive and determination, aids in releasing feelings of negativity and regret, boosts energy levels, sets you on a path to achieving your goals, and cleanses and balances the emotional and physical mind and body. When I tell people they need this stone, they really need this stone. Sulfur quartz, I think people overlook it because it's not pretty. A lot of the stones that I feel like a lot of people overlook that are super powerful are just not, they're not pretty. And so people aren't attracted to them. I also feel like people avoid stones that they need. Like, I don't like blues. I don't like purples. So like they don't, but again, then again, there are people that, for example, that have a hard time speaking their truth and they overlook lapis and sodalite when honestly they really need it. So that is sulfur quartz. And again, we have sulfur quartz in stock. We have small pieces, high quality pieces, and bigger pieces. So highly recommend getting some sulfur quartz. It's also a great protection crystal. We keep it actually near our Ouija section because it is a great releaser of negativity, bad entities. So we keep our sulfur on standby. But that is it, guys. That is all my crystals. It is, I loved talking about these with you. We should probably do themes of stuff, but I wanted to show off the very pretty but very dangerous stones, and we have quite a bit of them. And this doesn't even scratch the surface. It's funny because we were talking about Cleopatra used chrysocolla or malacolla, which is a combination of malachite and chrysocolla, is a eyeshadow. Well, chrysocolla is very poisonous. So we're like, did she like slowly poison herself over time? Chrysocolla is very, very, very bright blue. So we were like, Cleopatra, why are you putting some dangerous stuff near your eyes, girl? But back then, they didn't know. So, all right, y'all. That is my poisonous crystal talk. I will come up with a fun topic for next week. If you would like any of the items that I showed on the table, give me a message on whatever messaging app. I will definitely see messages on Facebook and on TikTok. So if you see anything that you're like, I really, really want a piece, let me know, and then we'll send you an invoice, exchange billing information, and send out your piece. I do all the packing, so I like to get people their stuff out immediately. So if you were to purchase tonight, you would have it sent out your way by tomorrow. So if we have no further questions, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking poisonous rocks with me. And I will see y'all next week.